So we will. So why do we need custom exceptions in Java? Okay, actually exceptions are there to handle the situations where some error occurs. If you are able to handle, we will call it as exception. If you are not in a position to handle some error, that is called error.
Okay, yeah.
Unexpected things, unexpected conditions, if you are not able to handle, that is called error. If you are able to handle it, that is called exception. So why do we need these many exceptions? If I have only one exception, what will happen? So why we are creating file not found, why Java provided us file not found exception, IO exception, like array index out of bound exception, arithmetic exception, runtime exception, these many exceptions they have created, right? So why do we need these many exceptions? We can handle it with only one exception, we can handle it. But why do we need these many means? To give the end user the meaning. If we give meaningful exception for the end user, by looking at it itself, he will know what kind of error it is, and
Okay.
because of which mistake he got that error. If I give it as exception, there are many cases, like it might be due to null value of the object, or it might be due to the um, out of index of the array, it might be due to file not found. Several cases would be there, right?
Yes.
But if I throw some specific exception, by looking at it itself, user should be in a position to understand what kind of mistake he has committed.
Okay.
If Java throws file not found exception, by looking at it itself, we are understanding it, right? File is not there in that location.
Okay.
So if it is index out of bound exception, okay, I am adding more elements to the array, but array is already filled. Like that, we are understanding it. So Java provided us several exceptions. That's good. But we are trying to develop some hybrid framework on top of Selenium.
Okay.
So if I use those exceptions, if they don't give proper message to my end user, then I will go ahead with custom exceptions.
Okay.
I am designing a framework in that, okay, in my case, I need to find a select box first.
Okay.
I need to find a select box first, then I need to select one of the option.
Okay.
So it got failed. It might be due to what you call, it might be due to non-presence of that select box within the page, or the select box might be invisible, or select box might be disabled. There are several choices, right? To fail that option, there might be several choices. So
Yes.
to give the end user the correct uh, no, it's not correct. To give the end user the right reason for the failure, you need to create custom exceptions. So
Okay.
instead of throwing like runtime exception, if I throw an exception like select box not found, then it will tell the end user that you are trying to choose an option in a select box, but I am not able to find the select box.
Okay.
That message, that exception will give. If I throw select box is disabled, then after looking at it, you will understand, okay, select box is there within the page, but it is disabled. Because of that, I am not able to choose an option in the select box.
Okay.
Then you might throw select box is invisible exception. Then
Okay.
that means select box is present in the page, but it is invisible. Like If you see here, this image is there in the page, immutable objects. Okay.
Okay.
But if I scroll the bar like this, then it is invisible. Even it's there in the page, it's invisible. If I try to click on that image, I can't do the click
Yes.
because it's invisible. So if an action fails in Selenium, there might be several chances for that failure. So to give the exact mistake what has done, we will use custom exceptions in Java. Okay,
Okay.
that's why we need custom exceptions. If you use, like, Selenium is also providing 5 exceptions. Selenium WebDriver is providing 5 exceptions, but those are not enough to uh, convey the proper message, exact message for the end user. That's why we'll go ahead with custom exceptions in Java.
Okay.
Yeah, what are all the exceptions you know in WebDriver? WebDriver is throwing WebDriver exception. No alert present
Okay.
exception, no such window exception, no such element exception, timeout exception. So what will he do is, if he doesn't find an element within the page, he will throw no such element exception.
Okay.
If he didn't find the window, he will throw no such window exception.
Okay.
If he didn't find alert box, then he will throw no alert present exception. Like that he will throw. But in elements there are several types. You can call this input box as an element, button as an element, select box as an element. Everything is an element, right?
Yes.
So if I throw no such element exception, I am not giving the clear message to the end user that which element is not present. So
Okay.
instead of throwing no such element exception, I can extend it. I can make it into 2-3 exceptions again to give the clear message. So I will extend it. I will create one exception here. New class. No select box found. It's like a class. So how to create custom exceptions means it's it is nothing but a class, but it should extend either exception or subclasses of the exception.
Okay.
No such, no select box found exception. So yesterday we discussed that there are two types of exception. One is checked exception, second one is unchecked exception. Okay. So if you are trying to force the end user to handle the exception at the time of programming itself, you will make it as checked exception.
Okay.
Exception and all the subclasses of exception will come under checked exceptions.
Okay.
So if you want to make an exception checked, you need to choose exception or one of the subclasses of the exception.
Okay.
But if you want to make it as unchecked exception, what you supposed to do? You need to extend runtime exception.
Okay.
Runtime exception, or you should extend one of the subclass of the runtime exception.
Okay.
Yeah, we discussed about the tree, right, yesterday?
Yes.
Throwable error exception. Runtime exception is also one of the subclass of the exception.
Okay.
And there are several other subclasses like IO exception, many other are there. All subclasses of exception will come under checked exceptions
Mm-hmm.
except the subclasses of the runtime exception. So if you make a class as subclass of runtime exception, it will become unchecked exception.
Okay.
If you make it as subclass of any of the exceptions, any of the subclass of the exception, it will come under checked exceptions.
Check.
So you need to take a call, like at the time of declaring an exception,
Mm-hmm.
like if select box is not found, if you are
Okay.
if you are trying to force the end user to take some decision, if select box doesn't find, then what will you do? Will you skip the test case, or some other actions? What will you perform like that? If you want to force the end user to take the decision at the time of failure itself, then you will make it a checked exception.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
If you don't have any problem with that failure, then you will make it as unchecked exception.
Check.
Like that we will take the decision. So first I will make it as checked exception.
Okay.
So this is a custom exception created by me, and it's a checked exception because it is extending exception.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
So test exception. So I have a method named choose option in select box. I have some code here. My implementation. So it will be called first. So at the time of this implementation, there might be a chance of throwing that exception. Throw no select box found. So this method is throwing no select box found exception.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Okay.
So if I am calling that exception, choose option in select box. So
Okay.
it's asking me to either throw or surround it because it's a checked exception.
Okay.
If a method is throwing checked exception, then when you are calling that method, you should take an action either to throw it or surround it with try catch.
Okay.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now I am making it as runtime exception. So error is gone. Because in case of unchecked exception, no need to take the decision at the time of programming. At the runtime, it will be thrown. No need to handle it at the time of programming. Okay.
Okay.
So by extending runtime exception, you can make any exception as unchecked exception. By extending and it using any one of the subclass of exception except runtime exception, that is come under unchecked exceptions.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Clear, right?
Yeah, I got it.
So why do we need why do we need custom exceptions in Java?
So, customize exception for the runtime errors.
Yeah. For the runtime errors, if you use only one exception,
Okay.
the clear message will not be sent to the end user
Okay.
to tell them what is the exact mistake they have committed. We will use
Okay.
custom exceptions in Java. We will give proper meaningful names, creating custom exceptions like no select box found or select box is disabled. Like that, you will use the names.
Mm-hmm.
By looking at the name of the exception itself, he can understand why the failure occurred.
Yes.
Yeah, that is the purpose of the custom exceptions. And you can make a custom exception either checked or unchecked by extending one of the subclass of the exception. Okay,
Okay.
so exceptions are also done. So now we need to understand how to handle property files, text files, XLS files. So
Okay.
why I included this topic in course content is, while running test scenarios, we will take the inputs from one of these files.
Okay.
See, I have programs with me. Did you ever book ticket in IRCTC?
ఏంటది?
ఐఆర్సిటీసీలో టికెట్ బుక్ చేశారా మీరు? ట్రైన్ టికెట్ అండి.
అయ్యా ట్రైన్ లేదు లేదు.
ఓకే, ఇప్పుడు యాక్చువల్గా ఐఆర్సిటీసీలో నేను టికెట్ బుక్ చేయడానికి ఐ డిజైన్డ్ ఏ టూల్.
ఓకే.
Okay, so to book a ticket in IRCTC, I need information, right? Like who are traveling, what is their name, what is their age, from where to where they are traveling, what are their IRCTC credentials, okay, what their journey date. So I need much information.
Yes.
So I should not hard code it in the program itself, because if I hard code it, I can book ticket only for myself. If I give the from station as Secunderabad to station as Tenali, I can only travel, because not everyone in the world will travel from Hyderabad to Tenali, right? They have their
Yes.
own choices. They have to choose their um, destination and where from where they will start, like that they need to choose, right?
Yes.
So we should provide them option. So we should not hard code the data within the program.
Okay.
So from somewhere you need to pick up the data and use the data in your program and do the process. So for that purpose, I created a property file, irctc.properties. So these are the properties I have given. Provide IRCTC login. So this is the command I will give, because if I give some property, they can't understand, right? What is this property?
Okay. Yes.
So we will give some description for that property. Provide IRCTC login username. So in irctc.user, he will provide the username of that IRCTC account.
Okay.
IRCTC password he will provide. Then I am asking from station, from where he is from where he is traveling, to station, from where he is going, and what is the journey date, ticket quota, whether it is general or tatkal ticket, then train number, in which train he is willing to travel. Okay, then category, first AC, sleeper, second AC, third AC, chair car, I will ask him. Okay, then number of passengers traveling,
Okay.
how many passengers are traveling, their names, their ages, sex, birth, ID type, because if you are booking tatkal ticket, you should carry one of these ID cards according to IRCTC policies.
Okay.
So I am asking them which type of ID card you are holding. So before designing a tool, you should go through that and you should cover all the options. You should provide all the options. Like he should carry one of the ID types, right?
Yes.
If you make it as one, always you should carry driving license.
Yeah.
If he didn't contain driving license, then he never used your tool, right? He doesn't use your tool. That's why before designing a tool, you should go through that process and note down each and every choice you should provide to end user.
Okay.
So he can carry seven. He can carry one of the these noted 7 ID cards. So
Okay.
we have given all the options. He can choose one for driving license, two for passport, three for PAN card, like that. Then he need to provide based on the type. He need to provide the value. Here he has chosen PAN card. So I asked him to provide PAN card for both, PAN card numbers for both.
Okay.
Then is senior citizen or not. Then to this mobile number we will send the SMS after booking the ticket. So I am taking mobile number here. Then payment mode, either credit card, net banking, debit, cash, EMI. So bank name, either Axis. I provided, because net banking there are 50 options.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I can't cover for each and everything, right? I have Axis and SBI accounts. I use it to book the tickets using Axis and SBI.
Okay.
My primary purpose to design this tool is to book Tatkal ticket for myself, because it's very annoying to book the ticket manually. Every time in middle it's failing. Again I am entering all the values and it's taking a lot of time for me.
Mm-hmm.
So to avoid that, I designed this tool for me, and that's why I have chosen Axis and SBI.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Then in case of net banking, I'm asking that bank user ID and bank password first to log in.
Okay.
Then in case of Axis, we need to provide transaction password also.
Okay.
So these fields I am taking. In case of SBI, by taking ID and password itself, we can book the ticket.
Okay.
Or if you use credit card, I am taking the credit card number, expiry date, CVV, all the details I am collecting. I will book the ticket and take it to the last page. I don't book the ticket through my
Okay.
tool. I will place him in the last page.
Okay.
He just has to click either OK or cancel button to book the ticket.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Remaining all steps I will do through my tool.
Okay.
So this is the purpose of property files. And one more thing, to book the ticket, they will ask us to enter CAPTCHA. We can't pick up CAPTCHA image value through Selenium. It's really difficult. So to
Oh,
avoid this automation process only, they will introduce CAPTCHA.
okay.
If they don't have CAPTCHA, we can automate anything. That's why, see, it is filling all the details, right? Now it will click on find trains.
Mm-hmm.
Please check the, oh, I have chosen Tatkal ticket and given the value as 25. Tatkal ticket you can book only one day or 2 days before, right?
Okay.
That's why got filled. 1 minute. Instead of Tatkal, we need to make it a general. So for capture image, how I am handling it is, I will stop the tool at that point.
Okay.
Capture image size is either 6 or 7.
Okay.
We need to enter that value, right? Till
Mm-hmm.
in some input box we will enter the value. Till that input box value's length is 6, I will wait. But
Okay.
6 to 7, I will wait only for 3 seconds. So within 3 seconds you need to enter all these 7 letters, and uh, you should leave the tool like that, then it will continue. Because using Selenium you can synchronize both automation and manual actions. Somewhere you can stop the tool, you can do the things manually. After that tool can go ahead. In Selenium there is an option to wait for a condition.
Okay.
So I designed my tool in such a way that uh, till the length of that input box is equal to or greater than 6, it will wait.
Okay.
So within that time you can enter the captcha image value.
Mhm.
After you enter the captcha image value, it will definitely reach the condition, right? Its value would be either 6 or 7. Then it will continue with the remaining operation.
Yeah. Mhm.
So like that it will take the information from that property file, it will fill all the details and it will goes on.
Okay.
So that's why we need property files, uh, and we should learn how to parse these property files, how to read these property files and get the values from it.
Okay. Mhm.
So that part we'll cover today.
Okay.
So you can refer this topic here. No, not here. Control home. All the programs I used to paste in tips and tricks section, file parsers. So how to read property files in Java, how to read a text file line by line in Java, how to create an Excel sheet, how to read an Excel sheet in Java.
Okay.
These 4 topics we'll cover today. So I am making you as a presenter now. Share your screen to me. We will do the setup in your Lappy.
Yeah.
Share your screen and give keyboard and mouse also to me.
Okay. I think I shared my screen. Did you get it?
Yeah, your screen you shared. I am able to see it.
Okay. Yeah. Here is the eclipse actually you are asking about, right?
I didn't get you. Come again?
No, you asked me to install eclipse, right?
Yeah. You eclipsed
Yeah,
again.
I did.
Yeah, now your screen is not visible to me.
Oh, it's not?
Yeah.
Okay, okay, 1 second. Okay,
Yeah.
is it visible now?
Yeah. It's visible now.
Okay.
So give keyboard and mouse control. Here you have it, right? Change presenter. Beside change presenter, you have, yeah, I got it. Keyboard and mouse.
Okay.
New. Oh, no, you are in J2EE mode. 1 minute. Here is Java. Okay. File. New Java project. So we'll create project first.
Okay.
Then after clicking on source, you need to create a package. Dot new class. So to read Excel file, we need a jar.
Okay.
So as I mentioned here, the prerequisite is you need to add POI 3 dot some version, latest version jar you need to download and you need to add it to your build path. Okay.
Okay.
So POI POI jar free.
ఇది యాక్చువల్గా జావా ఇన్స్టాల్ చేస్తే అందులో ఉంటుందా జావా ఫైల్ అది?
లేదండి, ఇట్స్ a third party jar. Java will give
ఓకే.
us few classes, but using those classes you can read text files only.
ఓకే.
So to read a Excel sheet, those classes are not enough.
ఓకే.
So POI 3.10 is there. It's the latest.
ఓకే.
So it's good to download latest jars. So binary distribution we need to choose, and binary distribution means jar. Source means all the files will be there.
ఓకే.
So binary we are downloading. అవునా ఎవరు చెప్పారు? హలో
యా మీకు నా స్క్రీన్ కనిపిస్తుందా?
కనెక్షన్ అదే నాకు కరెంట్ పోయిందండి ఒక్క నిమిషం.
ఎలక్షన్ రిజల్ట్స్ కోసం కరెంట్ వెయిట్ చేయరా?
ఇంకేం కొత్త గవర్నమెంట్ వచ్చే వరకు మాకు ఇంతే ఇక్కడ.
మీరు ఎవరికి సార్ ఓటు తెలుగుదేశం అంటుందా?
తెలుగుదేశం అండి ఆబ్వియస్ అది. జగన్కి వేస్తే ఇంక మేము ఈ స్టేట్ వదిలే బీహార్ అస్సాం వెళ్ళిపోవాలి. ఏం మిగల్చడు ఇంక మాకు. మీరు మీరు ప్రెజెంటర్గా మీరున్నారా అక్కడ? ఒకసారి చెక్ చేయండి.
నాకు యాక్చువల్గా ఆప్షన్స్ ఏం కనిపించట్లేదు. షేర్ మై వెబ్ క్యామ్ ఒక్కటే కనిపిస్తుంది.
ఏముంది షేర్?
షేర్ మై వెబ్ క్యామ్, మిగతా ఆప్షన్స్ ఏం
ఓ,
కనిపించట్లేదు.
నాకు ఇక్కడ అన్నీ కనబడుతున్నాయి కానీ ఏది క్లిక్ చేయలేకపోతున్నాను.
అవును. నాకు యాక్చువల్గా అంతకు ముందు ఆప్షన్స్ ఏవి లేవు అసలు. ఓన్లీ వెబ్ క్యామ్ షేర్ చేయడం ఒక్కటే కనిపిస్తుంది, మిగతా ఏం కనిపించట్లేదు అసలు.
ఓ,
అది మీ స్క్రీనే నాకు ఆర్గనైజర్ అది కనిపిస్తుందని ఇంకేం కనిపించట్లేదు అంటే.
ఓ, ఇప్పుడు నా స్క్రీన్ మీకు కనబడుతుందా?
కనిపించట్లేదు.
కనబడట్లేదా?
అది నా స్క్రీన్ అని మీ లేదు లేదు కనిపించట్లేదు. నేను మళ్ళీ మీటింగ్ నుంచి వెళ్ళిపోయి మళ్ళీ జాయిన్ అవ్వాలా?
లేదండి, నాది అసలు హ్యాంగ్ అయిపోయింది. సో నేను ఈ సెషన్ క్లోజ్ చేసి మళ్ళీ వెంటనే మళ్ళీ స్టార్ట్ చేస్తానండి, దానికి జాయిన్ అవుతారు కానీ.
ఓకే ఓకే.
ఓకేనా?